I'm Eric Roberts, and this is a legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Hello, fellow Whovians, and welcome to another edition of the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil, and tonight we wrap up the month of March with the, whatever Dave calls it, the March Madness, March of Month, Mayhem, and whatever kind of stuff out there. I don't even know anymore. So welcome, folks. And tonight we wrap it up with Doctor Who can tell me their favorite Master episode. Tonight, you're going to help us this year, 2025, decide which episode of The Master is the best Master episode. I'm saying Master a lot. Go ahead and get your shot glasses out. Here we go on that one. All right, I'm done. Anyway, for the call, tell me their favorite. I'm even reading this because I'm so brain dead right now. Doctor Who, can you tell me their favorite? Who can tell me their favorite Master episode? And don't forget to put in the chats and the reasons why. We'll get to your chats as soon as we get to our panelists. And if we have time, we're actually going to go dive in our Facebook. There's a reason why. And without further ado, let me go ahead and pull the banner down. Hello, folks. Welcome there. Just getting off work, so I'm still... Again, we'll go into your chats. And we... definitely are going to have an awesome time here to establish which is the best Doctor Who Master episode out there. And of course, everybody's saying hello to each other. And again, if you get a chance, put into the chats. We're going to go into the chats as far as your episodes and the reason why. But without further ado, let me go ahead and bring on the team. First off, let me go ahead and bring in the Reverend Hamaga. And apparently Mark, Candyman, and bless him, his computer's still having issues. That's why he's not on tonight. So everyone wish Mark well, and hopefully he'll get his computer fixed. He's always joking about me getting my computer fixed. So, you know what?
Mine too. And
payback. So that's
I had sound issues earlier, as like switching back and forth. And what would Mark do in this question? Well,
speaking of Mark and our good friend over here, Tom Kosak, we have, where's my ad? Yep, don't forget to check him out on Spill the Geek Tea. If that little ditty is a little bit confusing, you can just type in Spill the Geek Tea with Tom and Mark and all their special guests, where they just talk everything that's not a part of the universe. So if you're interested in Spill the Geek Tea, you know what? You explain it. I don't want to get it wrong. I don't want to miss anything. How would you explain to fans out there what's
Doctor Who fans that talk about everything but Doctor Who, but sometimes it does spill over because we are Doctor Who fans.
It happens out there.
And Mark would say, "Shut up."
Are we going to be seeing him all night?
Well, as long as my arm stopped hurting, yeah.
We should say
I drink my green milk.
We should say goodnight to him. Well, what? Ew. What is that?
True Moo has, for Minecraft, some green milk for this month, and as we prepare for May to come about, they release blue milk yet again.
I thought you were just hanging around Luke Skywalker and you're just grabbing boobies. I didn't know if that was going to be a good segue, David. I didn't want to say boobies and then I bring you up.
I mean, it's one of the lesser things I've been called, so fine. Yes, I am here and I am mostly awake, so there we go.
Check out David at the Crossing, the themes.wordpress.com.
Yes, mostly very sweary movie reviews and whatnot.
Gotcha.
Oh God, he said Yoda.
Yes. And we're going to be talking tonight again. We are talking about our favorite master episode. Speaking of which, this is probably no segue whatsoever, but yeah, I said the B word, and there's no way I'm going to say it in your presence that way. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring on the Who Knew News, because this is a train wreck, and we're just riding it.
Fair warning, it is a train wreck because I got last minute news as soon as everything was coming on air and everything.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, this was just last minute things that were going crazy, trying to get pictures, permission, and everything and stuff, and all the other fun things. But let's start with happy things like happy birthdays, because we'll let ladies go first. Freema Agaman has just turned 46 years old this past March 20th, right? She's 20th.
I hope whatever I have is not a contagion right now.
It's called the giggles.
Going on, everybody, right?
It's called the giggles.
It's called the giggles.
It's called the giggles. And basically, from everybody at the team, except for me, got to meet her at MegaCon. They said she was the sweetest person and everything. So happy birthday to Freema. And then to boldly go where no one really wants to go right now, because can anyone believe this person, William Shatner, was born in 1931 and is in his 90s?
Yep.
I don't believe it. I think they
Trained
switched him when he was up there. I think they switched him when he was up there. When he took his,
Yes.
There's something on the wing.
Because he is
something.
Because he's the same age as Leonard Nimoy and everything. So that's why I was like, how? What's his secret? Who did he make
secret
it
that
with?
I use? If you're eternally expanding, you never wrinkle.
Nice.
Christian Urinal.
And Christian, you have a story behind this picture and everything.
Yeah, I do actually. It's very interesting. It almost didn't happen. We kind of made it a twofer, and I did cut out for this picture, Dalek Hal, but on his left, or your right on the screen where the chandelier is in the picture, just imagine Dalek Hal being right there. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, if you notice, he is the only person, one of a couple people who did not physically touch the TARDIS. Mm-hmm. There's a couple people who've made contact, but they don't have pictures with the TARDIS. He didn't even touch it. Now, remember, this is at the height of the whatever they call it. Hopefully, YouTube doesn't hit me with that one now these days. Mm-hmm. But this was at the height of the sea, and he was either...
We're calling it the missing year.
Well, I mean, he was, he's getting up there in the age, so I can understand why. But I'm just like, we're all coming into the room, and it's just like at some point, and if you see, there's I think what they call a scansion or something like that, or a cutoff pole. So you couldn't even get close to him. You couldn't make contact with him. You couldn't.
Oh yeah, no. It's more to do with his celebrity than because I got my photo with him in 2011, I think, and they warned us all: do not talk to Mr. Shatner, do not touch Mr. Shatner, do not. So I'm just sort of awkwardly leaning over. I swear to God, I don't know if he was like high or what. Could have just had a mannequin that looked like him, because he did not move or acknowledge the world, let alone me. So that is just how he does things when he does cons.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the normal thing. I mean,
it is.
Yeah, shameful.
Well, we got a twofer with Dalek Hal. So the Traveling TARDIS got in there thanks to Marvin over at the Daleks of Arrakis. Please check out his site and check out Dalek Hal and the adventures of his new Daleks going out over there with Dalek Ren. And I forgot the third. He's got a third Dalek now.
Stimpy?
No. No, he's got a third Dalek out there. So yeah, and thank you, Jim. Everybody give a thumbs up to this channel, give it a like, subscribe, whatever. Appreciate that. But yeah, that was William Shatner. And in knowing convention processes, we were literally shuttled in and shuttled out.
Yep.
So, and of course, you had to move out a Dalek in these tight spaces. So it wasn't like we could be shuttled out. It wasn't like shuffle in, shuffle out. It was like shuffle in, go through this maze from hell, and let's go. Let's go check it out. Hey, April. So welcome to the chats. And again, if you're just joining us, welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Again, as you can see in the title, tell us who your favorite Master episode was. Put it in the chats, and we will get to you guys later in the show. We're going to be going over our panelists, and then we're going to get to your chats. And if we have time, we're going to move to the Facebook page, and there's a reason why. So without further ado, let's go ahead and continue Gadget on our.
Well, I know everybody was waiting for this one with the now second teaser trailer for Doctor Who and everything. There's a lot of Easter eggs, and they were admitted to on Good Morning America here in New York, because it seems that our two wonderful actors decided to take a trip to the Empire State Building, as well as tell everybody that if you're a true Whovian, you're going to see a lot of Easter eggs coming up in this season, as well as you get a companion that battles the Doctor. And who did we have a companion like that years ago that wanted to go home and couldn't get home? You know, I mean, they had a fifth Doctor. They worked with him, I think, and everything. You know, but I think Tegan was the name and everything that wanted to go home and everything. So I think we got another Tegan on our doorstep right now, or on the TARDIS steps, because from what everybody said, it's going to be one of the seasons to make up for last season, as well as when you have a character named Mr. Ring-a-Ding who turns them into this. You know, speaking of Mr. Ring-a-Ding, Alan Cummings, you know, he's not a stranger to Doctor Who or anything. He actually will now be hosting as the Grand Marshal of the Tartan Day Parade here in New York City. And the dates for that, you can find it on Eventbrite, and everything will be Saturday, April 5th. And I'm trying to get the timing right for it. It will be basically, where is it? From 2 to 4 p.m. And they'll go between 44th Street and 55th Street here around 6th Avenue to celebrate Scottish clan members, as well as having some fun and everything. And you might see them in the pubs later. But
okay, thank you. I did not know what a Tartan Day was.
It's fun around here. I wanted to go a couple of times, but now I might be able to. And they celebrate all the clans and everything, so you get to see everybody in their tartans, and they teach you how to do the tartans. At one of the, I think the last time, because I think it shortened it up now, but one of my friends went and they loved it because they said it was like the best thing, like especially if you're Scottish and everything, or have family that's Scottish, or just want to be honorary Scottish, like on St. Paddy's Day, honorary Irish. This is the best thing. It's fun and everything. And can you believe it's 27th annual? That's what I'm saying. It's up there. It's been there for a while, and it's just one of those where it just tied in perfectly because he's promoting Doctor Who at the same time and everything. So if you do see him there, just tell him you love the episode when it comes on and everything. And
now, wait, before we proceed, what is exactly a tartan? Is that the style of the cloth? Is that
the pattern?
It's the pattern of the clan. Like, I have one for my family's Wiley, so I have the tartan for the Wiley clan because my grandmother has some Scottish, so I have that one and everything. And they even made one now for the witches that were burned on the stake. They made a tartan for the witches that were burned as well. So we don't know if we're going to be seeing that at this one. That's why I want to go. I want to see if they actually show the witches tartan.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to nod my head and pretend I know it.
Think of it like Outlander, how the Frasers and the Mackenzies and everything and stuff like that, how their tartans were different, like the way he would always talk about the way he had his tartan and everything.
Gotcha.
It's one of those things and stuff.
Tartan Day is kind of like a Scottish hybrid of St. Patrick's Day. Mm-hmm. So just like the green milk that Tom was drinking earlier.
This is from Minecraft. It's from Minecraft that said so on the bottle, which I'm saving
for the movie that's coming out with Aquaman.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what else we got?
And then we also had this past weekend something really cool at Planet Comic-Con. We had David and Alex.
Oops.
All right.
Shut up.
Yeah, well, that was the last. That's the last. That's gonna be that's the last. We had
There we go.
Isn't that the cute picture of them with David and Alex? Everyone said they had a ton of fun there. Alex stole the show. David took off his shoes in some of the things. I don't know if you guys got those pictures, but he took off his shoes during his con one-on-one panel and everything and stuff. Yeah. And he made himself comfortable. They were like, everyone said it was just like being with your big brother and big sister. It was like just the best time of their lives and everything. They even got Alex to use, it's not helium, it's the other form of the gas and everything to make her voice deeper, to like spoilers and everything. Yeah. And it was the funniest thing. It's like they were game for anything. They just wanted to be big kids, you know, since now they don't really have a lot on their shoulders, except him and his podcast, you know. And remember, check out his podcast on Spotify and all the other stations and YouTube as well and everything. And also what you were putting up before was because there is a serious situation with this fandom. And when you got a doctor telling you to stop, yeah, I think it's time to stop. You know what I mean? Because it's a show. Everyone should enjoy it. And the way he said in his one episode, be kind, you know, just be kind, you know. And everyone has to learn it's not right, no matter what you do or anything, you know, it's just be kind. Don't blame somebody for something else. Don't say this, don't say that. Just, you know, if you don't like something, leave. If you don't like this, don't look at it. Don't read it on Facebook. Don't whatever or anything. If you hate us sometimes, don't watch that episode. Watch another one. We might have a funnier one, you know? But the way the bloopers are here, we might even have an even crazier one, but, you know, and stuff like that. But guys, please be kind, especially that the cons are coming back. The weather's getting better and everything. Just treat everyone with respect, you know? And we have two other things that are going on right now. This is for Dave while he's on traveling. He mentioned that John Barrowman, I got it. Did I get it? Barrowman will be at Origins Game Fair, and I'm trying to get the correct date. I think it's 20th through the 22nd, because the Game Fair is from June 18th to June 22nd, 2025 in Greater Columbus Convention Center near Columbus, Ohio. It's 400 North High Street. And it's going to be a gamer's delight and everything, but we're also getting treated to having some guests there. I'm still researching on that one, but we know John's going to be there. And also, we may have boots on the ground for something in England if, because they did mention they would go look on their vacation, but we don't want to hold them to it because it is the vacation and they're on vacation. But this is also a shot from their travels here in New York City and everything, Nashuti, and I can't pronounce her first name. I still can't do it.
That's true.
I feel bad. But I'm loving this picture because of everything. But our own Gretchen will be in England looking for the holy Cyberman and everything at the church. If she is able to find it, we will have pictures of that. But I wish I got to see Nashuti, and I'm going to call her Belinda. It's easier to call her Belinda.
Well, I'll put it in the chat for you. But yeah, her real first name is Belinda Chandra, and she plays Verada.
Right.
Sethu.
Right. I didn't want, because her last name, I did not want to butcher.
Name right, but I'm just like,
I just don't want to butcher her name because I know how it is and everything and stuff. But they said they had fun here in New York City, so let's see if you spot them. But I think they've already gone on the rest of their tour and everything. It's I can't do it. Chandra, like that.
Chandra's her last name, yeah. Belinda
Chandra. So it's a CH name. Okay.
Yeah.
So Belinda Chandra and Nashuti got to pose at different things. They were even in King Kong's hand, but we couldn't get a picture of that and everything. But it was pretty cool and stuff. So any of you guys want to chime in on this picture especially and everything?
Yes. They're looking, they're not looking at both of them, so one of them is going to zap them.
This is a good one to do memes, but this is also to honor the iron workers and everything. If you know that famous picture where all the iron workers are on the beam and everything, you can actually ride the ride there at the Empire State Building where you can sit on the beam and look over. I'm like, hell no. I have a fear of heights. Hell
Have
no.
you ever seen those pictures of those guys just walking up and down the buildings? It's just like it's nothing. If I'm
they
not
get paid good money.
if I didn't have a parachute and was strapped down by 50 bungee cords, I'd be like, no, there is no way in heck I'm going up to the second floor. So just like, geez. I mean, if you could see them, you could probably pull them up on YouTube or Facebook and just see these guys were just walking. They didn't care. They would be walking with their lunch boxes, and it didn't even matter to them. Like, dude, just one slip and you're 100 floors down. I'm just like, God.
And to make a ride like that where you sit on the beam and they pull you up and you go look over the Empire, and I'm like, nope, I'll never do it. I'll let everybody else do it. But this is basically how New York City was celebrating Doctor Who, but I missed the one where they were on the subway, and I really wanted to see those pictures. But that's our news for now, because everything so far has been like last minute, because I'm looking for stuff for the spin-off series, and all we've got is that one picture that keeps going around the internet and everything. But I will say this about season 2. A lot of people are looking for those Easter eggs, and there is a few and everything and stuff like that, especially like this is hysterical and everything, because especially she made a joke about how her waist is not possible. That's not possible for a waist, and everything. But make sure in the live version, pay attention to the Plazio and the marquee. You might see an Easter egg there, as well as many other things that are going on in the series, because who knows what might show up, because right now there are rumors that we might see a master, but that one keeps getting thrown out there like crazy. We might see some other events that they have coming up in the thing that relates to Nashuti's heritage and everything, as well as what is the key to get her home? Why was he born and he waited for her? If you hear the way he does the speech and everything. And then all the other cool little Easter eggs, because you can see throwbacks to like Satan's Pit in there and some, but I like the space puppy.
Is that you, Mother?
Because everyone keeps saying Ghostbusters, but I'm like, I don't think it's Ghostbusters. I think it's something else. You know what I mean?
There is no Dana, only Zool.
That's what I'm saying. It's space puppy.
I don't want that as a pet. No way. They ain't having it.
Sit.
And also, if you paid attention, they landed in 2007. What was going on in 2007 during Doctor Who?
That's
I'm still trying to figure out what that is, because that looks like a flamethrower right there.
That's his new sonic screwdriver.
Of course. It's even got a strap. They really put on. Am I the only one that's just getting a little sonicked out? Not because I don't want him to have a sonic screwdriver, but
did you see his round sonic screwdriver? We thought we had the glasses. Now we got the round one.
I'll take the glasses. I'll take the glass. He's got that ceiling fan remote.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, we won't go there.
I bought one.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead.
Our crazy news.
Some silly, really news. Let's go ahead and wrap up the Who Knew News. Hang on one second. Let me put this in.
Yeah, that's what proper news or anything. Nah, that ain't gonna happen.
There's no proper news there.
Because it's always last minute, because this has been so tightly knit together. We don't know what's truth, what's, because they said there's no Christmas special and there's no mention of a third season yet. But you got to remember, the mouse is in control.
Oh boy. Speaking of which, because I have no way where we're going for anyway, let's go ahead and commercial break. When we return, we're going to be going over our panel. We will be going over our
Stampy.
Okay, I'm taking them out. We're going to be going over your selections from the panel first. We're going to be going over their selection of their favorite master episodes, and then we're going to be going to the chats. And if we have any chance, we will be going over to our Facebook page. And right now, we just want to thank everybody for giving us a little boost up there. We're halfway up to the 57 marker. Thank you so much. So don't forget to tell your friends to like, share, subscribe, comment, get those algorithms going. As you can see, all of our friends hitting us up in the chat out there. And for the first time in a long time, it's taken a while, but here you go, there, Facebook users. We've crossed the 78,000 marker. We're almost at 100,000 on that page. So thank you so much for just believing in us, taking the time to subscribe, share, let people know we are going to be the one-stop shopping for your Doctor Who fun. And speaking of Doctor Who fun, we're going to commercial break. When we return, we're going to go over the best master episodes when we return. Thank you for staying with us.
We are a touring acoustic duo crashing kitchens around the country. We go from house to house every Friday night and we create music, we create food, a good time, we stream it live and we do it for free. So now we're just really kind of like trying to develop it and build a community group that people believe in, then they'll help us. So we played from our rehearsal room, we played from the bathroom, thankfully that didn't catch on.
I probably played guitar in my room, not for anyone, in front of anyone, nobody heard, for probably about 10 years.
And then one Friday night we played from the kitchen. It's the main place people want to be. It's where the food is, it's where the drink is, it's where the best lighting is. You can go to any party and I guarantee you, the kitchen is going to be popping.
Our ultimate goal, I think, would be to crash kitchens every Friday all around the world.
I'm author Mark Muncy.
And I'm author Erica Lance.
And this is Eerie Travels.
Greetings, travelers. Join us as we travel through folklore, myths, monsters, legends, and dark history.
Now, we'll be your guide to the spooky side of reality as we discuss cryptids, paranormal, and all things preternatural.
Sometimes we find the truth is way scarier than fiction.
We're on twice a week on your favorite podcast platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and YouTube.
We have amazing guests from all of the areas of the strange and unusual, including witnesses, investigators, and more.
Now, with Erica's curiosity and ridiculous array of pop culture and true crime knowledge.
And Mark's decades of experience diving into folklore and the legends with the truth that's behind them.
Yeah, so join us, travelers, as we take you to the edge of reality, and we'll see you on the other side.
Are you a movie nerd? Do you collect VHS, DVDs, CDs, records, and so much more? Are you looking for clothing from 1940s to 2000s? Do you need cosplay or themed outfits? Come to Ducky's Vintage. We have it all for all budgets, located at the Oviedo Mall right off of the 417. Ducky's Vintage for those born in the wrong decade.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show, The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. And we're all here together.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. If some of you may not be familiar with what you just saw, that is actually Jason Connery, who was in the episode Vengeance on Varos. He was the one where he got shirtless and tortured. Some of the ladies really like that, and some of the guys really definitely like that. And yes, for those of you who remain familiar with that name, he is the son of Sean Connery. And he was in one episode of The Sixth Doctor, again, The Vengeance of Barrows, if you ever get to check that out. Welcome back. My name is Christian Basil. Welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. I've got Gadget, the Reverend Amagon, better known as the hashtag Guru Tom, and also David. We will be discussing our favorite Master episodes. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pull down the banner, and let's see who's going to go first on this one, because there's really no way I've been doing this rightly. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in the Reverend Amagon, who's checking his mail.
Yeah, mail that was sent out in February from San Francisco just came in today.
Nice.
Thank you, Timescales. It just came in.
There's always a treat. There you go. Tom, you have an episode for us. Can you tell us your favorite Master episode and why?
Which one was it? That one. I sent you that second one. Then I said the CDs.
I know. I love it. If you guys don't know, in the background, I usually, when I ask the panel, I say, please send me one of your favorite episode or your favorite character. And I said, just give me one backup. And they'll have a monolithic list.
I'm going to do it for a change. Huh?
I'm only doing the top two if I do a top one, if anything. So,
okay, so the top
this
one.
Is what I got to work with.
I chose World Enough. I still don't get that title. World Enough in Time. The Doctor Falls. So the two-parter counts as one story.
I just like the two masters in it. I love it. These two, especially.
Das two masters. Bringing back the Saxon master and Missy, who is seemed to be quite reformed, yet when she sees her former self, it's time to play. And in his mind's like, can we play? It's like, no, that would be wrong.
That scene still disturbs me. I'm only saying.
What disturbs me is that picture you put up while we're waiting for the show to start.
Oh,
and someone asked me because I posted it. I said, maybe Chris will post it just to disturb the rest of you people.
Go on.
Anyway, besides being a Cyberman story, which I love the Cybermen, it bringing Missy in, everything going on. The death of Bill, that's quite shocking as hell.
That was mean.
That was so mean. The new updated types of Cybermondasians, which we did see. Besides Cybermondasians, we also saw the other ones. But it's just about the masters, and how the Saxon had a TARDIS, but we don't see TARDIS. But of course, Missy has a little thingamabobby-doo that we've only seen in just a larger scale for the third Doctor. I'm trying to get the TARDIS to work. Trying to reconcile everything, and of course, try and make Missy evil again. What I loved most was the Doctor's speech, of course. I said, my memory.
She still is evil at this moment, but
but seeing her former self, it just brings out, evil. It brings out more evil. So that's
Isn't it the episode spoilers where they create themselves?
Yeah, the creation, because since she was not supposed to regenerate, which we were always speculating like what's going to happen next, and in turn she made him regenerate. It's like, okay, so where is the TARDIS? You bring about a TARDIS, you don't say anything, and it goes back to the wrist bracelet thingy.
Well, there were a couple of things that were interesting. First of all, she was starting to be
reformed
by the Doctor, and then her predecessor shows up, and they have this moment.
Yeah,
the dance,
and Moffat wrote it very well for him to, for him not to know how he got to Missy. And then how everything goes under. And one of the things I mentioned, I think we did, I know I did a review somewhere else of this episode where if the Master is going to be taken out, it would be the Master himself doing it. It would never be the Doctor. And I got my wish. with this episode. Spoilers, but I got my wish. I was just like, yeah, the master would somehow take himself out, and he's just like, yeah, he didn't like the direction that she was going. Mm-hmm. So of course, no, I'm never going to help the Doctor. So zap. And
you don't have a spoilers banner like I made? Okay. Well, I have Masterful, which I don't know if we would counted that as this Voyage as well with the TV shows and of course the 3 CDs. I never opened it. I was hoping you had it so I can just copy your copy of it.
I didn't, but one of your selections, which I wanted to bring on, definitely want to discuss because he is kind of just like the uncle nobody talks about. Is big. I call him Big Finish Master Alex McQueen.
Alex McQueen.
And if you never, I would love to. He's kind of like. I'm trying to think. Lisa Bowerman. Who did she play? God, my brain's fried.
Lisa plays Benny.
Benny Summerfield. Yeah, just like Alex's master. It's just like they seemingly belong into the Big Finish world. But there are times where I wish they would get pulled into Doctor Who Prime as far as the TV show is concerned. I thought that would be interesting, especially Alex. Because I really haven't I've heard his audio, but I haven't heard a full audio. I've heard clips and bits of him. And especially, I think he made his premiere in Dark Eyes 2 or Dark Eyes 3. One of the Dark Eyes series.
I used to know that it was definitely Dark Eyes. He had a different tie.
Wasn't the first one. I know that for a fact.
Now the blue and pink tie, so I made that figure happen. And he had a different outfit. He played different parts, different places here and there. And reading the synopsis of the Masterful, yes, it's only the Master who can take the Master out. I was like, holy crap, that is a very powerful story. So I think it came after. Of course, it came after this one, but you're right. It's for visual effects to see Missy and the Master returning because we didn't know what happened to him when he was pulled into the thing with Rassilon. Like, how did he escape? Then, of course, how do we find out about Missy? So, which comes out of a portrait. So all these little things that we don't know about, things that still need to be cleaned up. But it was nice seeing the two of them together, seeing the return of Saxon's master with the goatee in tribute to our previous masters. So I like this one. As I said, it was my first choice over the second choice. I can't. That was my section. Oh yeah, Magician's Apprentice and the Wizard's Familiar, because that one had Daleks in it. So Cybermen for this first one, Daleks for the second one.
Well, I got a question for all of you. When it comes to Sasha's master, where do you think he lies? Is that after Missy, or do you think he's somewhere before?
I'm still saying the Illuminati, the female watcher that is in the audios only when Missy is dying, and I think Luminate, I can't even say it, she comes across as the darker version of a future master, and so that's what brings Missy back to life or something to another, and then she regenerates, because that's how we follow Big Finish, which is all we can do until something comes up on the screen. That's the only canon we have in particular. And she was also in Masterful.
And Gadget, Roger has a question. Did Gadget enjoy what RTD... I like how he talks to you in the third person. Did Gadget enjoy what RTD told a reporter this weekend about Ncudi's replacement after Series 2 or 15?
It's still up in the air. But there might... there's still talks. Let's just put it that way. I'm sworn to secrecy. Tell you that. There's talks. I'll just say talks.
We're going to take it out of your pay.
What pay?
What pay? That's the thing. I'm freelancing for these damn companies. I'm freelancing for these damn companies. And
I made a point.
I'm sitting here going like, I can't say anything. And I can only hint about like the Easter eggs and things because they gave permission. Like they were on Good Morning America and everything. But I don't know if you guys really want him to go because I mean we would love him for another season, but it's up to you guys. It's up to you guys because my choice would be keep him another season. Let everybody feel it out because the first season it's like there with those movies that we don't talk about and everything,
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see what happens with season 2 because he said there's a lot of Easter eggs, and if he has to go, I'd rather hear what you guys would want as the new Doctor.
Well,
because I think it's time for the Doctor to grow up again.
I think it's hard to ascertain because I know out there's a lot of who sites that are not speculation, but there are a lot of who sites are going after each other because some people are saying he's leaving, some people are saying he's not. Again, the only true fact that I have that we have at our disposal that we know about is when he went on the Graham Norton show and he was talking about series 3 and that had to be cut. So that was kind of a hint that it's not a hint that the show's canceled. It's not a hint that there's going to be a series 3. It just means I think it was just a little bit ahead of time. Maybe even Shooty was using that. Some people do that where they negotiate and they make it,
known.
They make it known so that when people come up and say, okay, well, Shooty said that there was going to be a series 3. So what's going on, BBC? And then BBC had to put out their statement, which was, to me, my opinion was just vague. It was just like everything's fine.
Like when we thought it was being canceled and BBC came out with, no, it's not being canceled. It's just they're in talks.
It was Frank Drebin standing there with the fireworks display going in the background.
Everything's
fine. Now that it's
like me with my Cyberman sonic screwdriver. I'm like, no, let's just rewind, go back.
Well, we don't have an answer. We know that there's supposed to be a spinoff, but the spinoff's been very quiet.
That's
you would think that
it ties into one of the episodes. That's why I think they're waiting on the spinoff, but it's too long to wait on the spinoff.
Could it be that it ties into the episode where the episode explains the spinoff? And then we go into the spinoff?
It might explain
something similar to what they did with Class.
It might explain 2007. It's probably tied to the when they say what year is this we landed in. It might be tied to that one or another episode, meaning the puppy and everything. But those might be the same episodes. We don't know because we only got titles right now.
Puppy.
No, we need the other space puppy.
Space puppy.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm pulling what they all pull. The dance around, throw one ball this way while you're looking that way situation where I can't say one word or I'm going to be in trouble type of situation.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So while we got you up there, Gadget, let's go ahead. Your turn.
Well, it's funny because I picked Dark Water because I liked when she kissed him. Because it was like a shock to the system. It was like, what the hell did I just get? And it's just it's like she's like the psycho Mary Poppins, especially when she lands like with the 2-parter in the cemetery and stuff. And I'm like, really? Okay, we're going that route. Because at first I'm like, is this a new villain? Is this a new whatever when I was watching? And then it's like the way she would wink at him in the scene, the way all the other things were like, nah. They wouldn't go that route. I'm like, nah, they wouldn't go that route. And I'm like, could they go that route? Because it would be like interesting. And then I'm like, no, this is another villain. This is something else. This is like the lady that did in the 10th Doctor episode where she was in charge of all those Cybermen and everything and stuff. The Christmas one where he thought he was the Doctor and it was his family that was and everything. So that's why I'm thinking it was just a regular villain. And then when you get to that point, well, I couldn't be calling myself the Master now, could I? And then it's all of a sudden, it's like, uh-oh, we're in hell. And it reminded me of the old Tom Baker and everything else, those episodes when they were banting against each other, like bratty brother and sister or brothers or whatever and stuff, like, or husband and wife. Because that reminded me of just a standard husband and wife. But it seemed like when he was around her, he was more, had it like immature. Or more like, you know what I mean, and stuff. But especially when he became the president, that's what even I loved he threw in her face. It was like, you wanted to rule the world? Well, guess what? I have it. It ain't worth it.
Like it's like this piece of cake. But this one, I'm just like, I forgot. I was on somebody's show, and he goes like, "What did you think when they kissed?" I'm like, after all that, when I was thinking in the past, I'm just like, I'm thinking of Roger Delgado lip locking with John Pertwee. It is not happening. It's just everyone's like, my childhood just said. You walked out of the room. You didn't want to come back as you felt dirty. So he was just like, I can't. It's then. But I mean, yeah, Michelle really owned that.
That was just like you had it guessing. Like you were there, but you weren't. Like if you didn't see Old Who, you were like, no, this doesn't make sense. Wait, this doesn't. And especially with the witch's familiar, when she starts playing with Clara, Clara was her new favorite toy. You know, forget the Doctor having a companion. That was like her toy. Right. You know, let's throw her over the edge. Let's still do this. Let's trick her into turning into a Dalek. You know, let's just like this master was like manipulative, but comic relief at the same time. It was like I was laughing more with this master than the other masters.
Well, that was my favorite scene where she did just Claire. What do you think? Is that 20 feet down? just
push it with the stick and whoop.
Yeah, about 20 feet. So it took me a while to
warm up,
get used to warm up to her, because she did play it very well. But then later on, when she was toying with Clara, because she knew how to get to the Doctor, that was his weakness.
Mess with his companions.
Well, you mess with Clara, the impossible girl. You really pushed that envelope a little too hard, but the Doctor
his face after that kiss, that was just like he said, "Did it stop? Did it stop?" And she's going, "Yes, Doctor, it stopped."
I truly think that Peter was enjoying it a little bit too much. It's like keep going, keep going a little bit more.
Because that was a long kiss. Usually they don't go. You know what I mean?
Oh, she made it stick. I think somebody asked Michelle Gomez. She wanted that scene a lot longer than that. So definitely.
You see how many times she had to reapply lipstick?
Yes. So there we are.
But I also like that episode too, because this is the first time he saluted. If you remember, he never salutes, and that made me cry, because that Brigadier was my favorite character in the old one, especially with Sarah Jane, because it was more like a father figure for her. You know.
I think there were two things that drove me insane about this episode. One was Moffat. I don't know if you remember, Moffat was pushing the idea of the Master's not coming back. The Master won't be back.
Right.
I promise you, it's not the Master. And everybody, their grandmother and everybody and their grandma's grandmother knew that the Master was coming back, and he was called out. But even though he came back as Missy, but the Master.
He was right. There was no Master. There was Missy.
Tell that to her. Anyway. David, you are up. I like the way you think here. You went outside the box.
Yes, as I so often do, I chose to step outside the box, then turn around and burn it to the ground. I went with Scream of the Shalka, which yes, the other Ninth Doctor, and now back to being canon because I've forgotten which episode it's in, but they decided to include
Rogue.
Yes, thank you. That they decided to include Richard E. Grant in Rogue when they're looking at his past regenerations, and the Derek Jacobi, who, I mean, Russell T. Davis did bring in for Professor Yana in Utopia. I like this version of his master better, a lot better. First and foremost, because he's just such a sassy bitch in this episode. I think what I like about him, and this image is perfect for it, is that he is a very particular master in Doctor Who continuity, where this master is actually traveling with the Doctor. He is in a mechanical body that the Doctor put him in to save his life after some past event that they hint at, where you can also tell a companion died during those events as well. And because he's traveling with the Doctor and owes him his life and cannot live outside of the TARDIS anymore, he's kind of free to be as bitchy as he always kind of wants to be. He's benign. He tries to be malevolent, but I have a couple of lines that I absolutely love from him. One of them is when he meets Allison, who's on the right-hand side of the screen here. He's like, "I'm the master, and you will." Doctor Who comes in. "Come to like me when you get to know me." And because he's trying to play a good boy in front of the Doctor, because you can tell there's scheming going on there, but also he's just letting it all hang out, because he kind of, how to put it, there's also, allows him to play up subtly his affection, the underlying affection in that relationship, where at the end of the episode, again, spoilers, he invites Allison to come with them because he knows the Doctor won't. And he says, I don't particularly like you either, but you bring out something good in him. And it's sort of, I really like that as they were building all this stuff for potentially continuing on Doctor Who with the animated version, as they were until they announced the new series just before it started being released.
I'm sure Richard was pissed. You're like, wait a minute, I just took the mantle. What are you doing?
Exactly. And they layered so much in here with that affection, the malevolence, the wonderful disdain that he has for everyone and everything. He just one-shots the Shalka Queen basically at the start of it. Just she invades the TARDIS and he barely reacts. And of course, his dry viciousness. Why did I choose continuing existence, listening to him being right all the time, when I had the option of a slow, painful death? This is the best Master, in my opinion. And he doesn't get enough screen time in it, I admit that. But there we go.
I do like this Master because he's kind of a contradiction.
Yes.
Because he wants to kill the Doctor, but now he's stuck in the TARDIS. He can't leave the TARDIS. He's this, now he's this robot thing.
Yep.
And that's how he reads. It's almost like the Doctor's punishing him. And there's some cases where the Master just accepts it and just like, okay, this is my new hell. By the way, the actress who does the voice of the girl on the right, I can't think. What was her name again?
Sophie Okonedo.
Yes, she actually ends up doing Liz 10 in The Beast Below for the 11th Doctor series.
Mm-hmm.
And if for some of you who really are just wanting to dive on this one, she's also the princess in Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. If you want to talk about dynamic roles, so there.
Truly a classic.
Truly a classic out there. But yeah, I do love that Master because total contradiction. And it was just weird because you never know if he's going to help the Doctor or if he's going to do something else, or is he going to run away with the TARDIS? Mm-hmm. And it's almost like he's kind of stuck in this hell. So he kind of like, I'm just going to do what he tells me to do and figure this out. And hopefully he gets hurt along the way or something of that nature.
But there's still that underlying care there that, this situation has allowed him to sort of embrace as well. Like he's all bark and no bite.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment where he's mouthing off to the Doctor and the Doctor just pulls out a garage controller and turns him off. It is beautiful and awful at the same time.
Maybe that's where they got the idea from the Shooties Sonic.
He opens up my garage door. It turns on my ceiling fan. It doesn't do wood though. So,
Wait, no, they fixed that. Remember, they did fix the wood problem.
they did fix the wood. Oh,
Remember, it was in the 50th anniversary. Didn't they fix the wood problem?
No.
No. It they had to scan it, and it took them years. It had to go through.
Okay.
Yeah, there's something like 600, 800 years between
doctors
and
so it's
math.
believed it was going to work, but Clara opened the door.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we will never know.
And I'm going to add this one, David, because he gets no credit whatsoever, and I think he could have been a very good potential.
Yes. My second choice,
Price.
Curse of the Fatal Death. I love Jonathan Pryce just in general. I love Curse of the Fatal Death. I mean, it is just brilliantly funny. He plays it perfectly, and he does end up getting the girl and the doctor at the end with the obvious reference to the 80s rumor that Joanna Lumley would actually be actual regeneration of the doctor. And then, like, Joanna Lumley as the doctor, I would have watched the heck out of that. I gotta tell you.
400 years in a sewer.
Yes. With his Dalek bumps.
Right. Wait for me. Oh, also they're firm. What do you mean? Oh, that was just perfect.
And Richard E. Grant as the vain doctor who's lick the mirror handsome.
Yes. Nice tease. I had to rewind that. I'm like, wait a minute. Did he actually? Yeah, he did. Setting aside to that, I'll ask you the three and into the chats too. Do you think if we took Jonathan Pryce out of this, and let's say he was never the master for this spoof, do you think he would have made a great master?
Oh, absolutely.
Against the doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, he has done a lot of villain work that already suggests that sort of conniving with a hint of humor. I mean, his Bond villain in Tomorrow Never Dies is like 2 steps away from being the master already.
Tom, if you were to give, let's just say he doesn't do Curse of Fatal Death. He's selected to be the master. Which doctor would you pit him up against to become the master of that doctor?
Oh my word! Capaldi is my favorite doctor of all time. That's because seeing him in Tomorrow Never Dies, like whoa! Because my dad was a Bond fan. We loved Pierce. It had Terry Garr, Lois and Clark. So there he was, just
Terry Hatcher.
Evil. Terry Hatcher.
Down boy. Gadget, if we were to place Jonathan Pryce's master, I mean, if he was a serious master, where would you put him?
That's interesting, because I would have thought Eccleston, but then I'm like, maybe early Tennant before, like, but then you had, you know what I mean? It's like, it's hard because I can't see him with Nashuti. I cannot see him with Nashuti. But not really Capaldi. Maybe? Nah, I'm saying more like maybe Eccleston.
And
a returning master for at least a few doctors, like Ainley did.
Maybe Eccleston, yeah. Because Paul McCann.
I mean, again, Capaldi's also my favorite. I could see him with Nashuti, but I'm going with I want to see a condescension off with Baker.
Oh, which Baker?
Oh, sorry. Colin. Of course.
Colin.
Yeah.
With Colin Baker, I want those two going up against each other, just endless withering insults.
So if they didn't screw Colin over with what was going on, and they did it, you know what I mean? Like Sylvester didn't take over at that time and everything and stuff, and Doctor Who didn't have the mess up it did. You think this would have brought the series back?
I don't think anything could have saved it at the when you have the entire executive suite against you,
Mm.
I don't. But I do think that there were a lot of good things that could have kept a fan interest going. And yes, this is definitely like he should have been at some point.
Asked to at least do the role, like audition for it, right?
Dan says put him up against Jodie. I actually would put him up against Seven.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But McGann, right?
No, Seven is Sylvester
Phil.
McCoy.
Sylvester McCoy. And
No, they're too matched.
I don't
Dark-
think so.
Dark Doctor
You would have comedic Doctor go into Dark Doctor, and I think you would also see a reflection of that in his master.
Yeah.
Because they both do comedy and they both do tragedy. And that could intertwine. And
Yeah, but him and Ace.
Yeah, I could see him
He
torturing
beat him with a
Ace.
baseball bat every 5 seconds.
I would pay money for that, but I mean,
Well, we can ask Sophie, Get Mark to ask Sophie.
okay.
Don't bring that picture up again.
No, I'm not going to bring it. I'll leave that picture alone. So for anybody who was following up on David, this would be eventually
And
the
that's-
master.
Yes.
In
Professor Yana. I absolutely love him in this role as well. And the thing that I really love about this episode is that the master, with his personality hidden in the fob watch, is a legitimately nice guy and a kind person. He is a good person. Whereas even the doctor, when he was a bit of a dick. When he did the same thing, he was a bit of a dick to Martha, and just generally anyone. Whereas the master, if he didn't have the baggage going on, well, he's just a great guy who is caring and kind.
So you're
And
saying
I
they're
love
polar
that.
opposites when they hide their identity.
Yeah. Not necessarily polar opposites, because the doctor's still essentially a good person, but he's got that extra darkness that's just part of him without the baggage.
Human nature, family blood.
I never thought of it that
exactly.
way, because it was when it was Yana was in the fob watch as the master. But what does that make Yana and versus what you mentioned, the doctor? Because the doctor was a total Richard to Martha. So I mean, if you pull out the person in that, so is there a balance?
Yeah, it's something that just occurred to me when I was thinking about it for this show, and it's just I haven't done a lot of thinking on it, but it's something really interesting to me.
Because this was the episode of with the when they pushed him into space, right? And everything. Or which episode was this with him?
This is the one where he regenerates into John Sims.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shut up, Mark. Fix your computer, for crying out loud.
You guys can be that Sophie to hit you over the head with a baseball bat.
Somebody's give me a super chat so we can fix Mark's computer. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'd pay money for that.
Got it. Anyway, good one. I like.
Well,
I love these choices. Yes. Put that back up. Put that back up. Put it back up. Yes.
I am on the Legend of Traveling TARDIS tonight. Catch me on Spill the Geek Tea.
All right. Well, let's get to the chats because we have a lot of them. Hang on one second. Go ahead and roll these up in no particular order. Jim says, I like the first master back in the classic Doctor Who. Missy wasn't too bad. I didn't like the last two masters.
That would be Missy and Sasha.
Sasha.
Is there another master in there? I didn't like the last two. You mean the master episodes? I'm assuming. Because I was in a minority and I didn't say anything, but that the Rasputin dance. No. No.
Must be a Cyberman and a Dalek just look at each other going, what the hell?
I say my favorite master episode is probably Time Flight. Wow. You're in the minority, my friend.
See, I liked Spyfall. I did, or at least I liked the Masters part of it. And then it went on. He went off the rails for me from there on.
I loved Anthony Ainley, but in Time Flight when he went into Fu Manchu disguise and just like what was all that melty stuff, and we're just like, what's going on here? But I do love Roger Delgado. I'm sorry, I love them all, but I loved Anthony Ainley. I think there's something in me that I think he just ran too far. He covered 4 doctors. And but he was your go-to master, and you could tell he was having a good time. You could tell he loved the episodes out there. Jim, do you mean the Sims Master and Joshua Spelling Masters? Gotcha. Oh, okay. He's inquiring about that. Well, I might find the answer somewhere along here. I watched the first part of Terror of the Autons last night, Jim. I can't wait to watch the rest. Yes, Delgado probably set an impassable bar, but Ainley Spelling, was also very good in the role. I thought Sims was so, and I absolutely despise Sasha. Missy, I absolutely
Sasha was. I'm going to be honest with you. Sasha was there with the frog. To me, Sasha and the frog go together.
The frog. Who was it? I forgot which YouTuber, and I apologize, but one YouTuber described Sasha as a kid a diabetic kid who was eating a lollipop. And he was going like, "This is insane." He was just mad. It's like, you won't. Dan Hollyfield, the Master should be brilliant and terrifying, not a clown, but a real menace. True.
He's doing the Joker thing because he was wearing purple. Well,
I don't have his picture up right now. I thought I did, but
Sasha or
no, Eric.
Oh yeah.
And when Eric was like, when you drink something for the longest time and you hate it, and then all of a sudden you start to like it.
Yeah.
That was Eric Roberts to me. When they made the announcement that Eric Roberts was the Master, I was like, wait. I understand Paul, but yeah, it didn't first come on, and then he did his
flame sliders.
And then he did I dress for the occasion. I was just like, oh
yeah, just flame sliders. Why we didn't get an American Doctor Who.
And now I'm like, he is a master. Especially now that I've heard some of his stuff in Big Finish, so I'm cool with him. I'm cool with all of them. I was like,
I remember watching it when the movie actually first premiered, and I wasn't a big fan, but I was low key fan, and so were my friends. We'd watched PBS, watched Doctor Who on PBS, and we all just made fun of it constantly. And then,
the movie,
as I got older, I started to appreciate it more.
Yeah, like I said, it's a beverage that you had to get used to, and there were some moments I love, like this is an ambulance. And all of a sudden, him spitting out stuff that got onto things. I was just like, what is this all about? So, my favorite Master episode are Doc Martin and Death in Heaven.
Yeah, part 1 and 2.
I love the way Missy reveals her identity. Kissing the Doctor was the most hilarious part. Oh, yeah. And her evil Mary Poppins look as top notch.
Yep, that's what I just said. It's like hysterical because all you see is going, dumb, like that. And I'm like, okay, so was Mary Poppins really Missy in Disney? Because it's now a tie-in to Disney.
Well, you remember all those pictures and memes that came out when, next Mary Poppins returns, and it was Missy. So, Terror of the Autons, since I currently streaming it, and Heaven Sent. Thanks, Raj. My favorite Master was by the actor Roger Caesar Moranis Bernard de Hueva. Oh, that's his whole name? God. Never mind. Castillo Robert for...
Don't give that to me.
Fave episode with him. Gotta think about that. My favorite Master was by the actor... Okay, well, that's just a repeat. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, yes. Once the Raspian Dance came out, I absolutely loved Sasha. I'm sorry.
What was he on? Because I thought, okay,
he was on Chibnall Writing. That's what he was on.
because he was after Missy. I'm thinking, okay, are you trying to be a male version of Missy, or you just lost me like that? It was just like, yeah.
I think it was just Missy. It was when she went completely insane, and then Sasha goes, "Hold my beer."
Yes, I can make it worse.
Yeah, exactly. Or what? No, not Missy. John Sims, when he's doing that little dance. Here come the drums. Here come the drums. So,
oh my ginger.
I mean, that was a little bit of a cringe moment, but then I saw Rasputin, and I'm like, okay.
So then, who would be the master after him? Will we get another female, or will we get like a kid? Because I could see a kid.
Well, we had that episode last week. That's big. I'm sorry. Go ahead, David.
Oh, well, I mean, we don't know what order they come in, really.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we know that currently he's in a tooth, and it was a female, theoretically female, possibly trans hand that grabbed that tooth.
Just like the ring was grabbed.
So yeah, it's you never know. I mean, there was a brief time when I entertained the idea that that it was Ruby, because I thought that the pointing finger front was the same hand, and nope. Fan theory.
Ruby, because her dad is the mystery right now. Her dad is the mystery right now with Ruby.
Well, they found him. They just haven't spoken to him yet.
Yeah, but she still makes it snow.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I think in this day and age, they need to do it and not say a word. Not like how they bungled John Sims' return.
Yeah,
they need to. They need
her
to
dad.
Do it.
Michael Keaton, Jack Frost. There's the answer. That's it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like that's how I prefer to approach Who. Anyways, I'm just going to sit here and wait for it to come out, and I'm going to watch it. That way, I will hopefully be surprised. I do fail to understand why they didn't use any of the new Who doctors in Power of the Doctor, because that would have hidden what got leaked in advance, that Tennant is back as the next one. Like, if he would have been in the cast for a different reason, whatever. I'm not paid a lot of money to make a show nigh unwatchable for 3 years.
Well, I can understand to a certain extent, because back then when it was under BBC, if I'm not mistaken, David, there was, if they had to put out their cast list because they were nonprofit.
Right.
But now that they're, well, I guess technically, are they privately owned now? I can't even tell anymore.
It's because of the Disney tie-in. That's the problem.
But yeah, it would have hidden why he was there, though.
Well,
is what I'm saying.
Bad Wolf owns the artistic rights, and Disney's the distribution rights. I'm like, okay, so how does BBC fit in all this? Are they still publicly funded? I'm just like, are they? It's like when Sesame Street hit HBO Max. I'm like, okay.
I was like, they get grown up? Did they grow it up? And I'm still mad they don't have a dyslexic Muppet, but still, you know.
Dan Holyfield, I'd like please also check Danny Holyfield on his YouTube channel for The Last Man Standing. I like the episode where Missy decided to let Claire live in case she needed an emergency food supply. Oh yeah. Nico Bat, Sasha was my least favorite master.
Yeah, everybody.
I was okay with Sasha. I don't think he was like one of the best, but I meant like he needed some guidance. I think he could be one of the best masters if he was directed fine.
Well, that's the thing. I don't blame him. He's an absolutely magnificent actor. I've seen him in enough things to know that. It's that he was written and directed to that performance. And
especially when he revealed himself. That was like, huh? Like, how did she miss that? You know, like, huh?
Well, now, the other thing that drove me insane was the contact. I'm like, now we can reach universes across the planet and get I'm like, contact's supposed to be something for yourself when you're dealing with yourself. And then, like, if that's the case, the Doctor and the Master could have talked at any given time when they knew they were on the planet. And then, you know, Sacha could just go, I'm going to screw with you today. So, yeah, Missy also gave the Doctor's phone number. Yep.
Yeah, that one was interesting that they tied in everything that way.
My favorite Missy episode was when she greeted Danny Pink in the afterlife's place in Heaven Sent.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just didn't like Danny Pink. I love the actor.
I met him.
No,
he did a TARDIS thing.
All I'm saying, I love the actor. I just don't think they knew what to do with him. They thought they knew what they could do with him, but it didn't work. They were trying to give
because he's going to be in the new Wolf's Reign on Netflix, you know, as a voice.
What's his real name?
Oh, don't do that to me. I just had it. I'm like, tip of my tongue. You just made me lose it.
Samuel something.
Samuel. Yeah, Samuel. He's going to be the one
Samuel
of the
is a great actor. I've seen him in other stuff, but I just like, and like I said, I'm not even putting Danny Pink on him. He did the best of what he could. I just don't think, and the way he ends up dead. Spoiler. I was, you know, I just
thought he was supposed to be part of class, and that's why it all got messed up because he's supposed to go to class, like part of a class. They were going to have him spin off his class.
I wouldn't doubt that, but the way they ended it was just really just awful. And just like it made me dislike Clara, and especially when they brought
maybe not answer phones while crossing the street.
That and. But it made me dislike Claire even more because they brought him back to Last Christmas. And I'm like, this is the life that ended up getting your boyfriend killed. And you're supposed to have loved him. Now you're going right back into it and just giving him up. I'm just like, okay. It just, anyway, but Mark, my favorite episode would be The Demons. Yep. TLTT 2000. Yeah, it was Mark, you're right. It was we actually go occasionally we'll talk about the best the most terrifying episode of Doctor Who out there, and The Demons won 2 years ago. Delgado's Master's TARDIS looks very interesting in Terror of the Autons. Okay, nobody comment on that. Delgado surely had those haunting eyes as the Master the time scales.
Hey, we still got Clara's TARDIS running around with a shielda, you know?
With one heartbeat away, I am the Master and you will obey me.
Well, that's all right then.
I say that every time I go to Walmart. Harold Saxon happened then, didn't it? Yeah. It was the year, well, it happened, but I think
well, that was my other one I picked, the one with Saxon, where they were almost going to be buddies, and then she goes and shoots him. You know?
The eyes and the beard. I can see the comparison between Roger Delgado's Master and Dracula. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I am the Master, and you will obey me.
What was that one episode?
See, I was waiting for more the way I saw the Master with Tom Baker and everything. I'm sitting there going like, he's probably just sitting there drinking a beer, waiting for the Doctor to do something, and then like, all right, I'll go mess with him.
That's what the Master does. Is just gonna let him live his life, and then 5 seconds later, he libs a toilet seat up or something like that, and just screws with the Doctor.
Well, think about it. Look what how Missy entered. You know, it's like, oh, he's fine. Now let me go mess with him.
That's what the Master does. What they call it, the bromance.
Mm-hmm.
So timescales continues. It says Katie Manning spoke highly of working with Roger Delgado to me once. I've heard her say that before in interviews as well. So I meant he was a tremendous loss.
Well, it was a heart attack, right?
Car accident.
Took
like with Trini.
And that was kind of the catalyst that began the end of Pertwee's run when they lost Roger.
He was supposed to be in the final episode of Pertwee's run. It was going to be redeeming the character by he gives his something prevents Pertwee from regenerating, and he gives somehow his regenerations to Pertwee.
Which would explain
that's was something I read recently.
That would explain then the movie.
This.
That would explain the movie why the Master had no more regenerations. That would explain the movie then.
He was
Well, the
that was
Master's
supposed to
always-
be it, and that was just going to end the Master character. And but he died, and Pertwee didn't want to revisit, of course, the Master, because that's one of his best friends.
Mhm.
So they just decided, and I mean, they didn't even think of it at that point. They just abandoned all that and went ahead.
Is it so? That was actually a take on. I'm trying to remember the character. Campo.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, it was Campo.
I
No.
don't.
You know what I'm talking about, right? It was that.
It's been a very
Asian
long
thing that
time.
was going on at the time when
The transition episode, you mean?
no, there's.
Um,
Campo explains to Sarah Jane about regeneration.
Right.
And at the end, when he's regenerating, I think it was Campo shows up. Campo regenerates, and then he ends up and shows up, and he says, "I will help push his cells a little bit." And there's no time like the present. Good luck. Look after him. And then it's like the last scene where before Pertwee regenerates into the Doctor, Campo shows up.
He automatically
probably
appears
adapted
as
Now that you're mentioning that the Master was going to use his regeneration save, and could that have been what led into
That's
that
probably it's probably adapted from that, because it was supposed to be big
Think of the movie when
redemption
he-
moment.
Yeah, because think of the movie when he said the Master had no more redemption, he's bringing him back to Gallifrey, and then the slime just ended up going into what's his name and everything. Yeah,
I'm still trying to figure out what that's like.
that was the last of the Master after all the regenerations.
Yeah,
it's
but
all in the big
it
finish
was-
because that's why he took over Tremus's body, because that's the only way he can survive.
right, no, but he just became the snake thing. It was like
Yeah,
he took over
that is
bodies.
I rewatched the movie recently, and I read the trivia about that as well. That is a life form on Skaro
Mhm.
that somehow, like, he infested its body,
Okay.
and then so that's the same way he does Eric Roberts. Is he just puts that body, becomes a Russian
That
nest
remind me of
doll.
my anime. What is it? Parasite. The anime Parasite. We got the thing in his hand right there and everything. Yeah.
Mark, no. Mark, what Mark
My
says.
favorite Master not story of New Who is 100% Missy. Plus, my wife loved the Missy Master. Yeah,
I think everybody.
I
If
think
you had a choice, everyone wanted Missy back.
they still do.
Yep.
She owned that character. She owned when I think
Especially her and Capaldi next to each other. That was like, yeah.
well, I think they were testing the waters out with Missy to see what they were going to do with eventually with Jodie. Okay, we're going to test this out and see what happens when the Master goes female. And Michelle Gomez ate that role. She knew, you could not only see her taking over the role and playing with that character, and everybody appreciated her, but you could see her predecessors in there toying around and being a part of it. So it wasn't like she was disconnected from things like Sasha's. I think Sasha's a little more disconnected to his predecessors. Michelle really had some fun, really took on the role, and you could see her predecessors in the role. That I think that was important. I think everyone wants Missy back. She was like the OG New Who Master. Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, does anybody want to know my episode?
Yes.
Go get your put that watch down. This one I really had to think back because I almost gave it to the TV movie. But after everything, after you see the 11th, is it the 12th? Yeah, the 12th Doctor falling and the 13th Doctor falling. You would think after watching their fall, especially when you see Jodie's Doctor get dropped from the TARDIS onto the ground, that what would happen next would be complete flesh wound to the 4th Doctor. It's just like he just fell off a tower and she fell from space. I'm like, oh, the 11th Doctor, yeah, he was in that space suit and he hit the ground.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? His is a flesh wound. I was just like, what? He just fell off a tower. He wasn't even that. I wouldn't say he was high up. It would probably kill me, but I'm just like,
so pushing people off of things is the master's nature. Get it?
Yes. But I mean, well, he fell from the tower. He didn't push him off. He just rigged the satellite to move so that he would fall. But like where Jodie was, she was like in space with the TARDIS, and then just like from that fall, she survived. And the fourth Doctor probably only did a third of that. He just like he bit the dust. But I just love the dynamic between the fourth Doctor and this Master, and he was just taking off, and you could see how much fun that those two were having against each other. I really appreciate that, and the story behind Logopolis, I do think, you know, I love that scene. It's just like people in the universe attend. What was it? People in the universe attend something in the night nature. The message I tell you is important to you all. I know some people are out there going to rip me apart for not knowing that by heart. But Logopolis.
I'm just laughing at the technology because people are like, what they used back then.
Here's Logopolis, the one time that the Master actually gets the Doctor. He finally humiliates him. He works with him. He tricks him to save the universe, but ends up, and trying to save the universe with the tower. But he could not just leave it alone, so he dropped his good friend down on the ground where he had to regenerate. And this whole thing with the Watchers still drives me insane to this day because nobody can explain to me what the Watcher is.
I was going to ask you guys. I thought I was going nuts with that one because I'm like, what is this thing following them around?
Same thing for Planet of Spiders. I mean, except in Planet of Spiders, you saw the person.
Yeah, but that was the thing that was explained in Planet of Spiders. There was Kempo had a Watcher, so the fourth Doctor had a Watcher. But it's never seen again. It's never even made mention about that. And I really think, Big Finish,
Illuminati,
mentions the Watcher a couple of times. I know that.
I wonder if we're going to get the Watcher in this season.
I don't know. I'm still getting over by generation.
And
how this is working? How's that working out for you?
Well, see, I'm still remember he had his hand chopped off and he regenerated that way too. But was that by regeneration or was that just,
No, that was him siphoning off the regenerative energy.
Right.
Okay.
So that it didn't have a complete change.
Again, and I'm just telling people this is what drives me insane about that episode. It's just like, could you imagine the Doctor had a gun on a Dalek? And then he shoots the Dalek trying to destroy it and splits it in half. And in his mind, he goes, I'm going to stop you by splitting you in half over and over and again, making more Daleks until I stop you.
Didn't they say that in the episode too when he kept saying, I'm going to keep hitting the Doctor and there's more time?
Yeah, it's just like, that's what I'm saying. He was going to keep hitting the Doctor, splitting him up. I'm like, so you're going to make an army of doctors to stop you? And, one of them could stop you? Now I'm going to have this whole army? That's the kind of thing.
That's one way to repopulate Gallifrey after what Sasha did.
Now I'm reminded of that scene where John Sims' Master goes up to Michelle Gomez Master and goes, "Is this a bad idea?" And she goes, "Yeah." I know the Doctor likes himself. I don't think he likes himself that well. Not to repopulate the whole planet. So for me, I kind of liked it because the Master got his way on the Doctor, and he was just manipulating him. The Doctor is thinking, "Oh no, he's trying to stay one step ahead of him," but for once, the Master is ahead of him. And even though he defeats the Master and stops him, saves the universe, it was at a cost to the Doctor. Plus, I think Tom Baker wanted more money, but I'll never. He was just done. He was just like, you could tell he was just done. But it's still one where I think Anthony Ainley really took on that role that would define it when he goes further with Peter Davison and Colin Bakers and eventually Sylvester McCoy in Survival. I like Survival too. I kind of. That was like on my top 3 list with Survival out there with the interspecies that the Master's trying to survive and he's trying to find this power to held up against the Doctor. So that one I would throw into the case as well, because it was one where he actually had to kind of give himself up a little bit. He had to rely on this power that was like even older than the Time Lords, and which could have been dangerous. It could have backfired on him. But yeah, Logopolis, that's the one I would pick.
Logopolis was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Good choice.
But it wasn't. From what I remember, Tom was falling ill. It was Lala that was bringing him back to health. That's why he could barely do season 18. That's what I remember. Nothing
Which one?
about money.
No, I was just joking.
Oh. Okay, then.
I was just yeah. When
there we are. Then
Lala left, it was basically Tom going, you know what, I'm done here too. There's nothing more for me to move on to that. And he already did 7-8 years of the show, so
8 years.
I'm done. The Watcher was unexplained in the Terror of the Autons. It's the Messenger Time Lord. I'm looking forward to the Giant Spider episode of Series 2 or 15.
There's another spider episode?
Oh, yes, there is.
Dismemberment regeneration might not be possible with decapitation regeneration, the Doctor admits, not knowing that. Well, the mere fact that that shooting Gatwa came from David Tennant's crouch just a little bit. It's just probably disturbing on the level. Never mind. In the Husbands of River song, Capaldi's doctor told Nardole that if he chopped his head off, he would die.
Was it? Well, the old lore was if a Time Lord is decapitated, then the body would just make a new body with a head.
Highlander.
I mean, we're getting close to Deadpool and Highlander. I mean, this is
hello.
Last time I saw you were half cat.
Oh, Ace.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, without further ado, folks, I think we'll go ahead and wrap this episode as we go into April. Keep an eye out on things. We're not exactly sure yet.
Can you believe it's April already?
Yeah.
Rent's due.
February, then March, then April. Later on, you get May. That's how it works.
I'm sitting here going like, how did the time go fast after the situation I had? I'm like, I still can't find anything, you know? And then we got Shooty coming up on the 12th of April. That's, yeah.
Yep. So keep an eye on.
Are we going to be up at 3 a.m. to watch it?
You can. I'm not.
I might be.
That's the witch's hour. No way.
Just keep an eye on things.
Well, I am part witch.
Because
I know, but
we don't know which episodes are coming up yet. We might do a review episode, and we do have some guests who are wanting to come on, to authors. We'll explain as we bring them on at a later time. But yeah, also April 12th, we'll begin the second series of Shooty Gatwa. Keep an eye out on things. We're not exactly sure how we're going to be doing this as of yet. Dave's going to be hosting it, as we're hoping to do a watch party and a review party on the same day.
Because we've got 2 normal shows, 1st and 8th, before that premieres, guys. So if you got questions for us to figure out what these episodes are going to be about and everything,
of course you will be working.
Yeah, Mark, you're strange. That's why you're a vampire. You are vampiric, and we know it. Don't hide it anymore. So, without further ado,
you notice it's only 8 episodes because of everything, right?
What?
It's the infinity number.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking they were being cheap this time. It's got to save budget on somewhere. So without further ado, David, where can people find you out there on the internet?
You can find me at my lovely curse-filled blog, crossingthethemes.wordpress.com. If you went after last show, then no, there's nothing new to go to see there. So if you want to just wander around the empty, echoing hallways of my blog, go ahead. But I don't know why you would.
Wow.
I'm a born really selling me on this, David.
He's having a good night. It's not funny.
Could you help me with my stories? My God.
Anyway, Tom, where can people find you, sir?
Well, I got to fix that address before I leave the studio. Spill the Geek Tea at youtube.com/@ Spill the Geek Tea #1. youtube.com/@ Reverend Amagon. Sometimes on here if I feel like it.
Okay.
And also Mark. You also find Mark. You can find me on Spill the Geek Tea, Legend TARDIS.
And Gadget, where can people find you?
Everywhere and anywhere. You turn a penny, you'll find me and everything. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I'm going to be at Bronx Comic Con August 2nd and Anime NYC. I think that's the 24th with their new 4-day convention. Hopefully I can afford New York Comic Con thanks to not having a job. And anybody out there really want reviewers? Because, I mean, this is fun like this and everything too, but can we pay us? You know, because there ain't no jobs out there. And it's like, I think the only jobs they said left in the world are state jobs, which I ain't going back to, and funeral parlors.
I got no money.
No, telling everybody to send us money so we can go see them.
I've gone in debt for this damn show.
Yeah, my job was under the impression that firing me meant I could work on the podcast and make money. I was like, I can't even make money on these things. The pandemic killed these things.
I paid full price.
Full disclosure, Mark Muncy knows.
Where's Muncy?
I won't say who the YouTuber's name is, but he's locally here. And then Mark Muncy had explained to him the YouTuber in question, because I don't want to get him in trouble just in case. But he has 100,000 YouTube subscribers. And I was like, Mark, I mean, he's got 100,000. How is he doing out there? He goes, he still has a job. So people are thinking we're going to be rolling in dough and just like, get that out of your head right now.
We're here to entertain you, get therapy out of this. You know, it's like, but if you
I'm
know,
just here because I don't have to wear pants.
I am half the time in my pajamas. I mean, you know.
Bow ties are
one thing for Gadget to say, but David, oh hello. I'm wearing shorts.
Anyway, so without further ado, folks, again, please keep an eye out on our social media platforms, our YouTube or Facebook page, so you will know what is going to be coming up on the next episode and how we're going to be doing the watch parties and the review parties out there for the next couple episodes that are going to be coming up. But
I'm just hoping they're not all at 3 a.m. all the time.
3 a.m. must
die. Just have Mark host it.
Yeah. He'll do the watch party and then we'll take care of everything else.
Exactly. He's by himself the whole show. So I'm just like, what a good. No podcasters are wearing pants. Confirm. No, you don't want me to confirm at this moment. Anyway, folks, we're going to wish you good night. Thank you. Don't forget to say goodbye to Simon on the way out.
Thank you. Kisses.
No more Rose. It's going to be all Simon. Please take care of yourself until the next adventure. We'll see you next time. We should have an episode by Tuesday next week. We'll just let you know what's going to be happening. But in the meantime, till the next adventure, everybody say good night, Simon.
Night, Simon.
Good night, Simon.
Tony, take us out.